Peace, soul group. How y'all doing? I know I haven't made a video in a while, but this isn't even going to be a long one. I'm just going to make this really quick. This has been an idea I've had for a few days, actually. Got the coffee, aka the tea, aka the potion, aka the sauce, aka the formula. Got my little bit of green right here. And, yeah, let's get into this. So, once again, not a long video, but I wanted to make this video spiritual assets and spiritual liabilities. Now, on a grounded earth level, assets are any material items that, that make you money. This includes stocks, bonds, cash and all that stuff. But this isn't a finance video. And, liabilities are technically like your car, even though your car is technically an asset when it comes to the material world. You still got to pay your car note. You still got to pay your light, not my light, not your light bill, but still got to pay your, car note. If the car breaks, of course, you got to fix that up, change the tires, change the engine, change the transmission, all that stuff and everything like that. But it's a liability because you still have to pay for it, and you still have to put up expenses. And your house is and again, this isn't a finance video, but you get the idea. Basically, an asset is something that benefits you. A liability is something that takes away from you. So when we talk about on a spiritual level, let's call this your spiritual balance sheet. So on a spiritual level, this can go into many different, aspects too. We could talk about assets and liabilities on a numerology level, an astrological level, a dream level, material level. It goes deep and deep and deep and deep. But this video is basically just scratching the surface to give you guys a basic general understanding of how to identify assets and liabilities in different realms of realities. So now, spiritually, an asset is basically stuff like you believing in yourself. A spiritual asset is something along the lines of, supporting your own health in a lot of different ways. It doesn't always have to be material, but, eating healthy, thinking healthy, you know what I'm saying? Like, just stuff that rejuvenates your spirit and all that good stuff. Playing music, playing video games, playing an instrument, all that stuff. All that stuff is an asset to you because it builds up your character and it builds up your spirit and your whole overall experience on this earth and everything. Now, a liability would be, basically the opposite of, the assets, Like negative thoughts are a liability because it's taken away from your course of action and it's taken away from your focus on what you're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? Bad health. Now, and look, I'm not getting on anybody. If you are the way you are for a reason and everything like that based upon your spiritual path, but I don't even want to say eating health because, this isn't even really about material assets or liabilities. You know what I'm saying? If you're skinny, you're beautiful. If you're a little bit on the bigger side, you're beautiful too. So let me remix that and not even, give that part any energy and everything like that. So spiritually, your assets are your positive thinking, your affirmations, your rituals, if you're putting in the right energy and everything like that. You putting in certain energy when it comes to certain transits or, when something is resonating with you at the time. And, liabilities would be the opposite. Like, let's take this onto an astrological level right now. Let me use me for an example. I'm an Aquarius sun sign, I'm a Cancer moon sign, and I'm a Pisces ascendant. So, assets, spiritually, in an astrological level, I have to always look of what Saturn is doing when it comes to my sun sign. I have to always look at what the moon's doing. Because the moon, and see, that's crazy for me because, since my moon sign is Cancer, that's the planet, and for anybody that has, sun, moon, or ascendant in Cancer and everything like that, we have to really, pay attention at all times because we're constantly dealing with the moon going through, signs every 2 days. So, Cancer, sun, moon, and ascendants, our energy switches up constantly. So, let me use an example. So, my sun sign's Aquarius. So, the minute the minute the sun goes into Leo, it's creating liability energies for me because it's not necessarily putting me into a position to where I can easily do some and it's benefiting me. It's more like you have to put in more work. Let me put this into, a car and everything like that. Yeah, you have your car to drive around and get to where you need to go and everything, but you need to put gas in it. You gotta put gas in it. You gotta change the brakes. Gotta change the oil. Gotta change the transmission. Gotta change the transmission oil. All this stuff and everything like that. That's like with the sun being in Leo, if you're an Aquarius like myself. You can still get from point A to point B, but you may need to show a little more expression. And, us Aquarians, sometimes we have a hard time expressing ourselves because the sun is away in Aquarius. So we don't have a good time. Not saying we can't do it based upon other energies we may have and everything like that. But naturally, when it comes to our sun sign, we have a harder time, expressing easily without being looked at as an outcast or being weird or looking quirky or looking corny or stuff like that, so that's just the Aquarian archetype. But when the sun's in Leo, you can get to that point, but you gotta be more expressive. You gotta be more comfortable putting yourself out there and everything like that. And you may think, well, that's not necessarily a liability because, you're benefiting. Well, yeah, you're benefiting, but once again, going back to the car situation, you're getting from point A to point B, but you still got to, do these things that you're not used to doing. Aquarians aren't used to expressing themselves and putting themselves on the center stage. So it's kind of a liability because it's making us spiritually uncomfortable. So it's like taking away from our comfortability as a spirit being an Aquarius sun sign. And the same thing with the moon sign. With the moon, if not even just oppositions, like with me being a moon in Cancer, if the moon goes into Aries, we're still in an emotional time because, we're dealing with the fire element, which is, a cousin, not even a cousin, but a brother of the water element and everything like that. Well, I guess you could say a cousin because, when we're talking about elements, there's 3 different signs for each element. So yeah, fire signs can be the cousins of water signs and everything like that. But y'all pretty much get the gist of what I'm saying with, with the assets and the liabilities, like when it comes to a spiritual level. If your moon is squaring, it's not going to play as much of a liability. It's more like this. Put it this way. If you're a moon sign Cancer and the moon is in Capricorn, that's like paying a mortgage bill. And if the moon is squaring your moon sign, like Aries or Libra, it's like paying like a $50 phone bill. Well, it depends on how much your phone is, but more smaller responsibilities have to be taken care of, if that makes sense. So yeah, I don't want to make this video very long. That's basically the gist of what these spiritual assets and liabilities are. On a deep metaphysical, on a dream level, an asset would be you keeping a dream journal. An asset would be you, like Uriel said on the live last night, having a clear space in your mental before you go to sleep and hit the sheets and let your head hit that pillow, because when you have a clear thought, there's more space now. There's more space to be fulfilled as far as what you want to actually see be fulfilled, instead of having these different, bacterialistic thoughts be crowding your mind. So whenever you're trying to incubate a dream or a thought or a manifestation, yeah, you're trying to incubate that dream, but you got all these different influences. And yeah, you can definitely try your hardest to, still have a good dream. But once again, that's a liability. You got to put more in to get what you have to receive. And that's basically assets and liabilities on a spiritual level. Peace, y'all. I'll catch y'all later.